Hello guys, welcome back to the channel Code Momentum. So I know it's been so long since I haven't recorded any video because I was a bit busy and was not able to record any video, and on the top of that I have forgotten most of the thing that I had learned so far because I was not consistent as well, and due to which I didn't code so well, I didn't make any projects, which made things slip out of mind. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to start revising the basics and we'll learn gradually and we'll try to record video every week or in a two. And so this is the first video, not the first one actually. I had already uploaded four videos so far regarding SFML and some basic projects. So, however, as I just told that I have forgotten few things, so I need to revise them as well. So, what I'm going to do, I will try to make video and will record them and will upload them accordingly. So, in this video, what we are going to do is that we will understand how we can set up code blocks for SFML with MinGW compiler, right? So, the first thing that I want to show, let me just open the PowerShell and let me try to find out the version of the compiler which I'm using right now. Okay, so you see this G++ or GCC or C++ compiler is already installed in my system. However, this compiler will not work with SFML because I'm using 64-bit compiler over here. However, the package which I'm going to install for SFML is of 32-bit. So if we go on the official documentation of SFML, sorry, it's SFML, we'll see it's clearly mentioned that you need to choose 32-bit program on a 64-bit window. So you will most likely want to target 32-bit Windows platform or the 32 bits platform to have the largest possible audience. And you need to choose 64-bit package only if you have a good reason. So what does that mean is that according to the SFML dependencies, if you are downloading 32-bit package of SFML, it will only work with 32-bit compiler. It's not like if you download 32-bit package of SFML and you will try to run it with 64-bit compiler, it won't. It will give you some errors. And it is also stated in their official documentation that if you want to use MinGW package, it's not enough that GCC version seemingly match. You have to use one of the following matching compilers. That is, if I'm gonna use 32-bit, I'm going to download the 32-bit compiler, and if I'm going to use 64-bit, I'm going to download the 64-bit compiler. However, for the learning purpose, I'm going to use the 32-bit compiler. I'm going to stick with that. So, however, if you want to download 64-bit compiler and if you want to move along with that, what you can do, you can follow the same steps in order to configure the code blocks so that it will work for you. So the first thing that we need to do is that we need to set up the compiler itself. We need to download and install it. Why we are going to download the compiler first? Because it's clearly mentioned in the SFML code block MinGW documentation that we need to check which of the library are we using. So depending upon the library, we need to install the SFML package. So for example, if the library is dw2-1.dll, in that case we need to download this package. Okay, and if the library is this, we need to download this package. So let's start with the MinGW installation. So I have already downloaded the MinGW by clicking on this link. So once you click on it, it will download a file. Let me show you that. So here it is, the third one. You simply need to extract it and it will work for you. So I'm just right clicking on it and clicking on 7-zip, I'm extracting the file. Choose whatever location you want. For the sake of simplicity, I'm using my new volume, and just OK and OK. It will take some time for the installation and extraction. Let's wait. Okay. In the meantime, I will guide you through the documentation, and do not worry, I will attach all of the links in the description. So we need to do few things. First, we need to download the MinGW compiler itself. Then we are going to download the latest version of SFML, and then we will configure it with the help of code blocks. Like we will configure everything in a code block. And there's one more thing which you keep in mind. You need to keep in mind is that the new SFML or the version greater than 3 or the 3 SFML 3 version series use C++ 17 language standard. So we need to keep in mind this as well. Okay, so I believe it's completed. So here's my MinGW. I'm going to move it outside so that the MinGW is here. Now the second thing that we need to do is that we need to check the files, the DLL files which are present in the bin folder of MinGW. So either it can be libgcc underscore s underscore sjlj hyphen 1.dll or libgcc underscore s underscore dw2 hyphen 1.dll. So I'm simply copying them and will paste it here and search for them. So I do have this one, which means I need to download this version of SFML. And just to save some of your time, I have already downloaded this version of SFML and it's in the download folder. Okay, where it is? It's here. I will extract it in a new volume. Okay, let me browse and I will extract it in the same volume where I have extracted MinGW. Okay, it will take some time. So while it is extracting, you can go ahead and download the code blocks. So you need to navigate to codeblocks.org forward slash downloads, and from there you need to click on download the binary releases, and from there you need to select the version. So I would say you should prefer the latest version. And one thing which you can keep in your mind is that there is no I would say limitation for the code block. Like either you can use the 32-bit or the 64-bit, but I believe only 64-bit present over here. So we have 32-bit as well. So however, I'm using 64-bit operating system, so I'm going to download this version. It's code blocks dash 25.03 mingw dash setup.exe. So I have downloaded it. It's already in my system in the download. So while the SFML package is extracting, let's install this. It will take some time. Okay, why it is taking too long? Okay, it's here. So click on yes. Once you click on yes, the installation will start. Next, and I agree. Keep it default. Next, choose the location which you want. For now, I'm using the new volume where I have installed MinGW and everything. Okay, installed. It will take time to for the installation. Let's wait for a few seconds. I'd say a few minutes. Okay, so the SFML is completed. Now it's in here. The new volume D. We have code blocks, which is still installing. We have MinGW. We have SFML. Let's see what else do we need. So there are few steps or few things which you keep in your mind. The first is we need to choose the standard 17, and also we need to include the paths or link the include path, and also include the libraries, link the libraries in the build options, and then we need to link the libraries as well, the actual libraries which compiler used to run SFML program or the SFML app. So let's see if it is installed. It's still installing. You can skip this part. Okay, so the code block installation is complete. Let's launch it. Okay, it's launching. Where are you, code blocks? Okay, let me launch it once again. So we do have the code blocks here. Okay, it's launching, it's launching, it's launching. Okay, so here's the code blocks. What we need to do is that we need to create a new project. So I'm following the documentation, so I recommend you to read it first, then follow these steps. So if we see, we have multiple kinds of project, and we have SFML project too. But here's a catch: we don't need to select this one because this is outdated. We need to use the new SFML, the latest version of SFML. Okay, so what we gonna do, we're gonna select an console application, go, and next we are using C++. The project title, I would say, let's keep it SFML test, then next, then finish. So we have a new project. So we have a new project over here. We need to click on the source and we will see the main CPP file. We click on it, we will see the simple code. Now we just need to try whether it's running or not. That's the first thing we need to check, because as I just informed that I already have the C++ compiler installed in my system and it's in the environment variable. So let me just show you this thing. I have already set the environmental variable for this. Here it is. That's for the 64-bit, okay? So that I can run a C++ program from anywhere, like from the VS Code, from any other IDE, or even from the command prompt. I just simply need to create a notepad, a file in a notepad, and save it with the extension of .cpp. Then I can use the command prompt to run any CPP file or executable file. So now we just need to check. If I click on build and run, it should show me the output on a new console window. So it's showing hello world. That's great. However, if as of now, let me just show you, if I simply copy paste the code and will try to run it, I think we will get multiple errors. The first error is over here, which says no such file or directory exists. So what we need to do is that first we need to click on the settings, go to compiler, and we need to select the 32-bit compiler which we have just downloaded. So global compiler, go to toolchain executables, and from here you need to browse where you have saved the newly installed compiler. So I have saved it in a new volume D, and here MinGW, select folder. It should be like this. The path can be different, depends upon you. Okay, so the first thing is done. We have set the compiler to the 32-bit MinGW because we have downloaded the 32-bit version of SFML. Now, what we need to do, we need to link the include files, the header files, so that compiler can resolve this error. So we need to click on the project, right click on it, build options, and here's a catch. It's already selected debug. However, we don't need to select it. We need to select the parent folder, which is project itself. We need to click on it, and the first thing that we need to do is that we need to use the C++ 17 standard. Okay, now go to the search directories. In the compiler, we need to select the include files. So I'm gonna browse it. They are in the new folder, SFML, include, select folder. So it is D SFML version include, done. Then we need to go to linker and we need to add libraries. So in SFML we have a folder called libraries. We need to click on it and select. So it should be like the SFML library, done. So this part is done. Now we need to click on debug. It will asking it should ask you to save this changes. Click on yes. Now in the debug we need to go linker settings and we need to link libraries. So earlier we just defined the path where the libraries and the header files exist. Now we need to actually link the libraries which we gonna use in this project. So there are two kinds of libraries. The first one is the dynamic one ending with -d, and the another is the static one. So let me show you. If I go to the D volume and SFML in the library, you will see there are multiple kinds of library. So for example, see this one, libsfml hyphen graphics hyphen D. So D stands for dynamic and hyphen S stand for static. So I believe, yeah, D stands for dynamic or maybe debug. Let me quickly check it out. It might be possible I'm wrong over here. Hyphen D. Okay, so the D here stands for debug. It's not dynamic, it's D stands for debug. Okay, so are we going to use this debug libraries. So we are in the debug section itself. So we need to add SFML graphics slash D hyphen D. Then we need to add another library which is SFML Windows slash hyphen D. Then the another one which is SFML hyphen system hyphen D. So this is how we can add all the libraries. Okay, so for now we are using the three libraries and all these library are depends on one another. So for example, uh, all other libraries are depend on system library. So let me show you, it's mentioned over here as well. This means that if you are linking D, for example, you will also have to link this. Here are the dependency of each module upon D is described. So you might notice example depending on, here it is. If anything along the dependency chain is missing, you will get the linker error. So it generally means that libraries that depends on other libraries have to be added to the library list before the libraries they depend on. Okay, so all libraries depend on system, hence we need to add other libraries and system libraries as well. Now it's the debug libraries. Now we need to go to release and we need to add libraries for release. So for libraries for release, it simply mean we need to add libraries without D or without S so that we can run this program in the release mode. Okay, so we have added the libraries, need to click on OK. Now we are done with most of the part. Okay, so we are selected debug and release. So let's try to run and see what we need to do now. So the code execution cannot be processed because SFML graphics D3 was not found. Reinstalling the program may fix this error. Okay, so there's a fix. What we need to do, we need to navigate to the SFML folder and need to go on bin and need to select all of these libraries, all of these DLL files, and then we need to navigate to our project which is in this folder. I need to navigate to bin. In the debug we simply need to paste these files. So now if we try to run this in a debug mode, it should run fine. See, we have an output. Now we need to do the same for the release. Click on this, scroll down, release, and then build the program. Navigate back to your project folder, click on bin, click on release. Now paste all the files here, save it and minimize or close. Now it should run in the release mode as well. So now it's working. So if I go to the debug mode and it's green, Let's try change the color to blue and try to run it in a debug mode. Once again, we should see a blue circle. Okay, so this is how we can configure code blocks on MinGW and SFML so that we can run our program in SFML itself. Okay guys, that's all. And if you have any doubt, kindly post your doubt in the comment section. I will try to answer them as soon as possible. And I will be attaching the links for all of these. You can use these links to navigate, and recommend you to read this tutorial or this documentation so that you can understand what I was trying to explain. And here's the tab for downloading every stuff. Here's the SFML package itself and the MinGW compiler and the code blocks. So thank you. Have a good day. Bye.